Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jack Berry. I'm at the Novi Golf Show, and we are on radio, I think, here, because Jeff Lesson has just walked in. And Jeff Lesson from the Odyssey station, WWJ, and he gives the sports about 3 or 4 times an hour, I think.
Some people say too often, but my mother would say not enough.
Right. So how's it going, Jeff?
It's going great. We start our 26th season coming up on 97 Win the Ticket on Sunday mornings, 8 a.m., Lesson on Golf. I hope you tune in. And I blame this guy every year. Anyone who's angry at me, blame Jack Berry. I discovered, not only did I read him all the time as former president of the Golf Writers Association of America, the Detroit News columns all the year, the Detroit News Golf Writer, but I even bought his book, Rating the Courses.
Not many did.
I bought 2 of them. He had 2 editions. So anyone who gets mad at me for things that's in the radio, I say blame Jack Berry, because I wouldn't be in it wasn't for him.
Well, you're enjoying yourself, though, right?
And you know what's interesting, Jack, as I was just telling Art and walking over here, is golf is back. Like maybe you and I never anticipated just a couple of years ago, but we never anticipated COVID. And maybe the one silver lining of COVID has been golf. Because as you know, and Art and Jeannie know, I'm sure, that what's going on? Well, when people couldn't go to baseball games, when they couldn't go to concerts, they couldn't go to movies, where were they going to spend their money? Some of those people discovered golf for the first time, and they're coming back.
Well, I was talking earlier to Paul Albanese, designer, and he says, yeah, well, hate to say it, but the pandemic's been good for golf. He says,
yeah, it's been so good that not only are courses raising their fees for them, and let's face it, it's been a buyer's market for many years, and a lot of courses were hurting, so I'm good to see, from just a survival standpoint, they're able to raise their rates. But some of them don't even have leagues anymore. Some are saying their owners want to cut back on the number of golfers, some premium places I talked to. So it's definitely a different ball game.
Well, it's you're getting a lot more kids involved now, which the golf industry and is very happy about and is pushing, and more women playing golf. And the thing that for me, for older folks such as myself, move the tees up. They don't have enough short tees.
A lot of places, I'm seeing more and more places, 5, 6, 7 sets of tees. We've come a long ways from 30 years ago where you only had 2 or 3, right?
And you always played the back tee.
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. Maybe my brother. No, now I passed the 60 mark. I'm starting to move up too. So, but hey, that's what's great about this game. What other game can you enjoy the beautiful outdoors in Michigan, especially northern Michigan? And you can play with different levels of players. You can't do that in many other sports because, we got the tees, the difference, and so forth. And best social game in the world. And where else do you meet someone like Jack Berry, right? Come on.
Right.
You can't do that anymore.
Well, I'll tell you, it's saying that this is 2 years ago was the last show, and things ended after that for a bad time. But people discovered they could play golf. That was healthy. Get outside and get around.
Northern Michigan still, in my opinion, the best place to play golf in this country. I mean, you've been just about everywhere. I mean, we're not talking about playing like Augusta, but as far as a public golf destination, I don't know a better value still for more premium courses than we have. Not just upscale golf in the Detroit area, but Northern Michigan, it just brings it to another level. I mean, you can't get that kind of value. You go to Arizona, Florida, Las Vegas, Southern California. you're paying hundreds of dollars more for that kind of golf, and it's not even the same quality.
Well, I think that that's happening over in Wisconsin with Kohler. Those are not those are not reasonable prices. Tell us about your Sunday morning show. You've been doing that for a long time.
26 years, 97 won the ticket, 8 to 9 a.m., and we feature the best courses in the state. We have most of them on 5 minutes. Anything new in equipment. We have pro pointers on, the travel destinations, and my website, lessonongolf.com, will give you the best deals that are available at many of these courses. And so we encourage you to visit there if you're still looking to save some money, because prices are going up.
What about how many courses around the Detroit area have you played?
Probably not as many as you. How many around the Detroit area? I mean, I played most of them, I think. Most public, maybe most of the private. I've not played Bloomfield Hills Country Club. Really? You haven't played there? Wow, I got company.
Went around there with Mike DeVries.
Let's see. How many have you played?
Oh, no. It's been, of course, I have four girls, little girls growing up and all, and I didn't get out to play all that often.
Are you still spending a lot of time down south or southwest? No?
No, I'm at 8 Mile and Novi Road. I'm near Meadowbrook, and I go by there a lot.
Cattails and that whole area there. Okay, yeah. Now, we are blessed to live in the state of Michigan for so many reasons, and golf is really one of the biggest. I really think so.
Absolutely. I mean, and the right prices, and it's like every county.
And people don't realize that until they try to play other states. And you're paying a lot more for a lot less golf course, a lot less quality. It's unbelievable how they do it here. But I'm glad to see, folks, please don't get too upset. You're paying a little more money this year because, let's face it, a lot of these courses have been taking a beating for years. And, and the consumers, we've been the beneficiary, but we want these places to survive. So please don't get upset if the prices go up, because they kind of had to.
Well, there were a number of courses that closed, yeah. And it looked called like Golf is Dead and everything. The national organization was saying to stop building a course every day, like we've been telling you to. Back off.
Yeah, we remember that. The National Golf Foundation back in the 80s. We can build a course every day for the next however long. We'll never meet demand. I think they overdid it, but.
Yeah, but now they're coming back. I mean, we've had new courses in the state now, and working on the older ones to update them. Now, update them in one way, but to remember, like Oakland Hills did with Gil Hanse. Knock out some of those trees that were blocking the holes and all. Terrible shame. They thought we'll be able to see that clubhouse from any place on the golf course.
I was out there last August. I got invited to play, and that's the one thing I noticed, how because they moved hundreds of those trees, you could see that majestic clubhouse from anywhere on the course, and unfortunately it's no longer there. But boy, what is your opinion on the USGA? What was taking them so long? What is taking them so long to award them a U.S. Open? Do you think it's not going to happen? I'm not sure now.
I think they got mad because Oakland Hills took a couple of PGA championships and the Ryder Cup, and that was the top guys in the USGA at that time. Well, times have changed.
There's new people in charge now, and I understand there's a better relationship.
Now they're getting 2 women's opens.
Right, which is nice, but not the carrot they wanted.
I think it's a good idea that they got them. I just think it's a bad idea that they are throwing out a whole bunch of years for Oakmont and for Pinehurst, and for and a couple of those other old ones.
They've had 3 U.S. Opens since '96. The last one in Oakland Hills. It's obvious what's going on, and they spent all that money. They pushed that vote through 3 times to get the new course built, and I really thought by last fall it was going to happen, and it still hasn't. It makes me wonder what else is going on, really.
Well, it'll happen whenever. It's going to happen a long time after I'm gone.
Could be me too. I mean, they got one opening in 2028, I think, and after that, it's not until the 30s, and yeah. So who knows? I got a question for Jack. Now, Jack always was more of an Ireland guy than a Scotland guy, right? So, I'd never been to Ireland, and my buddies and I are talking about making a trip. I want to do Northern Ireland because my bucket list course is Royal County Down, and Royal Portrush is nearby. Is it worth the extra trip to go up there as opposed to? I know that there's a lot of other great courses in the southern part, but what are your recommendations?
Absolutely. County Down, holy mackerel, that's one of the great courses in the world. In Portrush, they finally got, the troubles eased up enough that they got the Open. Shane Lowry, had one wonderful championship, and they're getting another one of the Open. Now, to me, the best courses there are the north and the west, the upper west side, and I've played, I think, about 22 or 23 links courses. Every time I've played 2 inland courses, but the links courses all the way around, they're fantastic. You can't go wrong playing in Ireland.
The best thing out there is if you don't get done in 3 hours, they run you off the golf course because they play faster and they don't use the buggies either, right? He's a caddy and you what? I do now?
The countryside is so gorgeous. They don't hide the golf course with a bunch of tall hotels and resort type things like we do here. It's the golf course, and it's all the dunes and the ocean and all that. It's magnificent. But the northern Ireland and the western.
What about in this country? I don't mean to take over your interview, but I'm always interested. What is Jack Berry's favorite course? He's played in the U.S. of A. I mean, you probably played Augusta Nationals, a member of the media over the years, but outside of places like that, what's the best public you've ever played?
Take a long time to think about that. Probably someplace down around Myrtle Beach. We used to.
I was just in Myrtle last year for the first time.
Yeah. Golf Writers used to have our championship the weekend prior to the Masters. We'd have it over at Myrtle Beach.
Nice.
And that was always a good time.
I'm always a sucker for oceans, so my favorites probably the ocean course at Kiowa, where they had the Ryder Cup and the PGA. I played that a couple years after the original Ryder Cup, and boy, wind was blowing. Just a beautiful experience, even though it beat you up. And then on the other side, there's a place called Pelican Hill in Newport Beach, California. That's a Fazio design right on, all these holes right on the ocean, even more than Pebble has. So that's me.
Well, Pebble Beach, I played there a couple of times, and played the day after Tom Kite won.
Oh, the Open.
Holy God! Yeah, it was those greens were harder than the floor. I mean, it was.
He was always a great bad weather player, wasn't he?
Wow. Well, it wasn't a bad weather. Didn't have terrible wind or anything like that, but the course was drier than dry, and you almost have a hard time getting the tee into the ground. It was tough. It was like if you watched the Arnold Palmer tournament this weekend and see the rough there. Well, that's kind of rough. That's U.S. Open rough.
Yeah, Bay Hill's a little different.
Yeah. Pebble Beach is. Jim Nance lives on the golf course.
He's got the replica of the 7th hole he built in his backyard. You ever see that?
Nice spot to have your home right there and look out at the ocean and green. Wowee! Yeah, I saw when Peyton Manning who was doing a great job on television, and he had a show, and he had Tom Brady out with him, and they're dressed up in a suit and tie and so forth and going around, and they got to Nance's house, and Nance was not home, but Peyton Manning somehow knew how to get it, unlock the gate and get in, and they played his course back and forth on there, and they called Jim Nance to tell him that they were having a great time at his place, and knocking balls all around.
Now, you obviously were around when Pat Summerall was calling the Masters, as was I. Has Jim Nance replaced Pat Summerall in your life as the voice of golf and television? Hard to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's a while ago to Summerall. Yeah.
Hard to say, isn't it? They both are legacies. Yeah. I mean, Pat Summerall, Ken Venturi, and those guys back in the day. Yeah, that was quite. Golf has certainly evolved. No more Johnny Miller. I mean, I miss him. I know a lot of the players don't, but I do.
Yeah, well, it's time to retire, and I can understand that. And he's a guy who lives out there, and area that the course he did out there by Napa that they had the fire above practically burned down part of it. So time passes on.
Always great to see you, my friend. This man is a legend in the golf business. Great Hall of Famer.
Lesson on golf. Take one.